Okay, we are on and we are running. All right, now, if you go to T. Darcy Science 7, try to access that on your phone. You will find my website for this class. Okay, I think that's what it is. So T. Darcy Science 7. I had a hard time loading the other video, but this should work. T. Darcy Science 7. So you go to YouTube, and that's the channel. T. Darcy Science 7. It may come up as just, also if you put in, I don't know why, put in T. Darcy, it might come up as that as well. Okay.
Sir, I found T. Darcy, 61 videos, 68 subscribers.
I think it's 61 subscribers or 61 videos.
Yeah, 61 videos.
May I see?
Yeah, sure. The second
I have that many videos on there? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's the channel. Okay. So what did you put in there? You put in T. Darcy Science 7?
Yeah, yes.
And it works?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's it then, okay, guys? So let's continue. When you're talking about the biosphere, you're really talking about everything. You're talking about the land, the water, and what else are we talking about? We kind of glossed over it a little bit. What else is involved in the biosphere?
Water cycle.
You got the atmosphere too. I mean, you got birds, you got all kinds of things floating around in there, yeah? So, look, if you took a basketball and you painted it with polyurethane, you know what that is? Paint. It's like it's like varnish. If you just had water on it, you know, that's about the thickness of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is very, very thin. Now, when we talk about that atmosphere, we talk about it in layers. What's the part of the atmosphere that's closest to the Earth? What's the name of it?
atmosphere closest to the Earth.
We were just talking about it. We were just talking about it. The troposphere, right? The troposphere, right? Now, does anybody know anything about the troposphere? Yes.
It's right and before stratosphere.
It's before the stratosphere. Excellent. And how thick is the troposphere? I think it goes up to about what?
3.5 to 6.2 miles.
3.5?
3.7.
3.7 to
6.2.
to 6.2 miles, more or less. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going to climb up Mount Everest, is that in the troposphere? Mount Everest? Oh, it's close.
Yeah, it's
close. It's about 29,000 feet. We would say 29,000 feet, right? In America, we would say 29,000 feet. It's a little more than that. What's 29,000? You have a calculator there? You have a calculator? 29,000 divided by 5,280. 29,000 divided by 5,280.
Divided by 5,000
280.
to 5,280.
What do you got?
Sir, I didn't get it.
You got?
Can you repeat it again?
29,000 divided by 5,280.
5,280. Sir, it's 5 point.
What is it? How many miles?
Sir, 5.49.
I can't hear you. Remember, I have the air conditioning right here. Just give me two significant figures.
5.49.
5.5.
5.5. Yeah.
5.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be a little more than that because it's actually 29,000 something.
Yeah.
That's Mount Everest. So it's really kind of at the limits of the troposphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the it's near the stratosphere.
It's in the middle.
Yeah. Well, I'd say it's more than in the middle, but anyway, it's very important that you understand that the biosphere is where everything happens. Everything happens. We have land, sea, and air. Now, let me tell you something about the atmosphere. Let me get rid of. We talked about the water cycle. We talked about precipitation, the troposphere. We looked at deserts, and remember the deserts when you suck that aquifer out, that water out?
Yes.
What happens to the desert floor? It does what? It's going to sink. And you can go to desert areas that have a lot of vegetation, a lot of trees that aren't natural. You know, when I lived in the United Arab Emirates, there were entire areas that were planted with trees. You have a world-class golf course where they call it the Abu Dhabi Open. It's outside the city of Abu Dhabi. It's in a city called Khalifa City A, and it's a giant golf course. Trees, all kinds of stuff there. So, let me tell you something about the atmosphere and how big it is. Do you feel the atmosphere weighing down on you?
No.
You just feel normal, right? Some people say that it's about to rain, they'll have aches and pains from joints. Have you heard people say that? Yeah, people actually say that. Yeah, they will. Especially old folks or people who have had some kind of injury. So there are minor fluctuations of pressure that people actually do feel. But is it crushing? Is it crushing? No. But let me tell you something about the atmosphere. Remember we talked about a cubic meter of water. We talked about a cubic meter of water, right? Now, it's this tall, right? That's about a meter, correct?
Yeah.
It's this wide, that's about a meter, right? And it's about this wide, this long, right?
Yeah.
So it's a box. It's literally a box that's right here, and I'm sticking it, right? Now, let's fill it with water, okay? Let's fill it with water. That is going to be 1,000 kilograms. Yes? 1,000 kilograms or 2,200 pounds, 1 metric ton. Is that okay? Yeah, now. Are you ready? Okay, now. If you were underneath that, would that feel heavy?
Yeah.
You don't know?
No.
If you're under a giant, if you're under a giant cube of water that weighs 1 metric ton, that's not going to hurt?
A bit.
A bit?
Because I've never been there, so I'm not sure.
You know what a ton is?
Yeah, I know.
You don't mind having a ton of rocks on you?
No, I'm gonna mind.
Yeah, okay, good. Now, if you do this, let's do this, okay? I have a bad shoulder, so I have to go like this, okay? Now let's do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? Yes? So it's going to be 1, 2, this is 3. Can I erase this part of it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right?
Yes.
Okay, now. That's, well, how tall is that?
10 stories.
That's a yard, that's a meter, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 10,
10
what
meters.
10 meters?
10 meters, right? So it's going to be 10 meters. That is, now if you're underneath that, would that really hurt?
Yes, it will.
For sure.
It will break my bone.
Yeah, it's 10,000
My bone will collapse.
kilograms, right?
Yeah. It multiplies.
Yeah, it's 10,000,
10,000.
yeah, it's 10 tons, right? 10 metric tons, that's a lot, right?
Wow.
Okay.
For humans, but not for us.
That is 1 atmosphere. Yeah, the atmosphere goes up many miles, right?
Yep.
Many miles, right? 1 atmosphere is equivalent to 10 meters of water. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
If you take 10 cubic meters of water and stack them on each other and get under it, that's what it's like. Isn't that amazing? But you feel that?
Yeah.
You do?
No.
You would feel it if you got under this, but do you feel the atmosphere that heavy?
No.
No, of course not. Yeah. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now. So, has anybody ever been scuba diving or snorkeling or skin diving, anything in the ocean? No?
No.
I used to, and it's really a lot of fun. How many atmospheres, how many meters, if you go down in the water, how many meters is equal to 1 atmosphere if you're diving?
How many meters?
In the ocean, how many meters down in the ocean do you go and it's 1 additional atmosphere of pressure?
10 meters?
Yeah. Every 10 meters you go in the ocean. So here's the ocean. Right? Here's the ocean. Here's the ocean. That's the ocean bottom. Here are the waves. Okay? Right? Here are the waves. Every 10 meters, let's say that's going to be 1 kilometer. Right? Every 10 meters is 1 atmosphere. So if I'm going to go down 1 kilometer,
So it's one as
how many meters is going to be another atmosphere? Every 10, right? How many tens are in 1 kilometer? It's a math question. How many tens are in 1 kilometer? How many?
10 tens are in.
10.
Well, it's going to be how many meters is 1 kilometer?
10 meters.
100 meters.
No. So it's going to be 1,000. You got the right idea. It's going to be 1,000 divided by 10 is
Yeah.
100. So it's going to be 100 atmospheres if you go down 1 kilometer.
1 kilometer.
Is that amazing?
Yes, it is.
So you think about submarines and things like that. It's tremendous.
Like very strong pressure.
Yeah, very strong pressure.
Then there's more than 1 atmosphere in the water.
What's our other question?
Sure.
Like it's not just a lithosphere.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, your atmosphere is your atmosphere. The atmosphere is the gaseous envelope that surrounds the Earth. That's what your atmosphere is. There's only 1 atmosphere. You understand? There's only 1 atmosphere. But what students don't understand is this. We are built, we evolve, we're born, we live, we die in this atmosphere. We've evolved as a species in this atmosphere. It doesn't bother us. We're given the wherewithal to withstand the atmosphere. Okay? Now, this can become very complicated. I want to keep this simple. Okay? But we don't realize as humans how big the atmosphere is and how it's the fact that we don't feel it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's very, very, very heavy. Well, how heavy is it? It's difficult to realize that it's heavy, isn't it? You sit there thinking about the atmosphere. I sit over there, I don't think about the atmosphere.
Because we cannot feel that.
But the atmosphere is real. Just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Well, how heavy is the atmosphere? Well, the atmosphere is this heavy. So if you go down 10 meters in the ocean, that's like an additional atmosphere on top of you.
Yeah.
So it's not just the atmosphere on top of you, it's the atmosphere on top of that.
Yeah.
So if you go down 10 meters, it's not one atmosphere, it's two atmospheres. When you're on Earth, it's one atmosphere.
The pressure gets lower.
Yeah.
The pressure gets greater. As you go down, the pressure gets greater and greater and greater and greater and greater. Down here, it's 100 atmospheres.
So it's
Well, the
more
ocean is a
pressure.
lot deeper than 1,000 kilometers. 1,000 meters
Yeah.
than 1 kilometer. Many kilometers deep. Right?
So does any fish live there?
Yeah.
Sure, things live down there
How do they
because they've evolved to survive in those conditions. That's biology. We're not studying the biosphere just as some fun thing to do. We're studying the biosphere because the biosphere is made of a lot of different places where organisms are born, they die, and they evolve adaptations to survive at harsh conditions. You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're an alien and you're from a very small planet, you're a really small planet,
Which has less gravity.
a tenth of a lot less gravity, and you come here,
Where
it's going to be this is going to be harsh conditions, isn't it? Where you are used to it, but this person, this organism, this life form from this distant planet that's really tiny, when they come here, what you consider as normal conditions, they're going to think of as harsh conditions.
Because they're not used to it.
There are organisms that digest, remember, the Titanic.
Oh yeah.
There's bacteria that actually eat the Titanic at very low depths. There are organisms that live inside a volcano. They can survive those extreme conditions. There are organisms that survive on black, sandy beaches near the equator that get enormously hot during the day, and there are organisms that survive that. Yes?
So what organisms live in a volcano?
You're going to look that up? This isn't 1965, this is 2017. We have information at the tip of our fingers. Now, so that's atmosphere, okay? That's what your atmosphere is. So it's not just the atmosphere, it's surviving the atmosphere, it's adapting to the atmosphere, it's fish at the bottom of the ocean that live there and develop adaptations to survive down there. So when I say to you, this is an atmosphere, it's much more than that. We are organisms that have evolved to adapt to this stressful environment. Understood?